We have been failing the people of Brown County and statewide by not having this issue addressed.
A prime example of what some are calling a crisis in Brown County's court system is James Grandberry. He's accused of being a top-tier drug dealer, caught in the state's first ever wiretap investigation for fentanyl.
This is one of the most significant drug cases that we've had.
Granberry has 14 charges against him, including 13 felonies, and is being held on a $1 million cash bail. Despite the hundreds of years in prison he's facing, the State Court of Appeals is looking at whether it should throw out Granberry's case. Granberry argues his constitutional rights have been violated because he hasn't had a preliminary hearing yet due to the state's inability to provide him with an attorney. We interviewed Granberry over the phone from the Brown County Jail.
Every time I do go to court, I gotta wait for counsel. So it's me being in here and picking up my tablet and going to the law library and really reading about my constitutional rights and everything.
State law requires a preliminary hearing be held within 10 days of an initial court appearance. It has now been more than 400 days since Granberry's initial appearance that took place July 23rd of 2024.
It's not an isolated issue. There are other individuals who are waiting for appointment of counsel for long periods of time. This is probably the longest that we've had somebody have to wait for appointment of their first lawyer.
Like so many others, Granberry qualifies for a lawyer from the State Public Defender's Office, but ethical conflicts prevent the office from providing representation. In these situations, the Public Defender's Office is required to find a private attorney for the case. That is exceedingly difficult in Granberry's case, as he's one of at least 47 defendants from the wiretap investigation. Once the Public Defender's Office or a private law firm represents one of the suspects, conflicts of interest are created for the rest of the group. The Public Defender's Office says it's made nearly 5,300 contacts for Granberry's case, but no lawyer has agreed to take it.
When I call the Public Defender Office, they tell me, well, we reached out to 3,000 some attorneys or whatever, but if I reach out to 3,000 some attorneys, why have I not had one yet?
It doesn't surprise me that we would have made hundreds of calls and doubled back and called some of the same individuals over and over and over again for a matter that's been pending for a number of weeks or even months.
Jennifer Bias is the state's top public defender. She says her office constantly calls, emails, texts, and talks face-to-face with private attorneys, trying to get them to take on cases that her office cannot. The time it takes to find matches contributes to the backlog of cases in the court system you've likely heard about for several years.
We rely on our private bar partners very, very heavily, and when those lawyers are overloaded, we just can't appoint until we, either get more lawyers, hire more lawyers, or something gives.
A private attorney forwarded Fox 11 one of the recent emails from the State Public Defender's Office seeking help. For adult misdemeanor and felony cases in Brown County, there were 382 people in need of private representation. From the public standpoint, how can you ensure that they should be confident that your office is doing everything that it can to find attorneys for these inmates that are sitting in the jail?
I think they can be confident by remembering a few things. I think first and foremost, the legal system does not exist with public defenders alone. It's a three-legged stool. Prosecution, judges, and defenders are needed in order for our court system to work appropriately. And when one side or the other is not staffed appropriately, then the stool falls over and the system does not work well.
In the most recent state budget, the Public Defender's Office requested 46 new support positions and 6 attorney positions. It received 12.5 positions overall. 42 new prosecutor positions made it through the budget, including 7 for Brown County.
That certainly is going to have impact.
Brown County District Attorney David Lassay says while his office appreciates the legislature's efforts, he admits the added positions aren't exactly as advertised. It's actually a net gain of 2.5 attorneys. That's because 3.5 grant-funded positions are going away, as well as one that the county paid for.
And now they add 7 positions.
Lassay hopes the extra support will eventually help clear the backlog of approximately 3,000 unreviewed cases. He He says his office has consistently had that many since he took on the role in 2012.
I think it depends on the system issues and those getting fixed, right? Some of the other players in the system that were able to fix defense counsel, maybe to add another court, but I would think, in the next 2 to 4 years, I'd be hopeful that we could clear through a lot of that backlog.
As for Granberry's case, if the state appeals court decides he should have had an attorney by now and throws out his case, Lassay is confident his office will be able to refile the charges.
It's frustrating for us because the state brings the charges, but we, for obvious reasons, cannot have any part in appointing counsel for him. So that's out of our control, yet if there's a delay, it's going to get held against the state, and you could potentially have a situation where a case ends up getting dismissed because it simply took too long to have counsel appointed.
Once y'all violate my constitutional rights, then everything should just be gone ahead and dropped.
According to DA Lassay, Granberry would walk free if something happened, changing his ability to defend himself, like a witness or evidence were no longer available. That risk highlights the need for solutions to speed up these cases. On Monday night's Fox 11 News at 9, we dig into one lawmaker's proposal and whether it goes far enough to address the system issues in Brown County and statewide. For Fox 11 Investigates, I'm Ben Krumholz.